Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today we have another haunted history video for you, and this is the history of Imbolc. So if you follow my videos, you probably see that I'm wearing the same outfit as I was in the last haunted history, and that's because I'm filming them both at the same time. I know you probably don't care, just thought I'd point it out. And I also have my notes here in front of me on my iPad, so if I'm looking down and you see the reflection in my glasses, that's just what that is, because there's no way I would be able to remember all of this like off the dome. So we're gonna get straight into it. I thought that it would be fun to talk about the pagan Sabbats and the pagan wheel of the year because I celebrate it. Personally, I think I'm the only one in my family or anyone close to me that celebrates it. So it's really important to me, and it's something that has really become a significant part of my practice, and I want to share it with you guys. So that's what I am doing. If you like hearing about the pagan Sabbats, definitely let me know. If you have other ideas for haunted history videos, also let me know in the comments. I have this whole year planned out, but if you guys come up with any cool ideas or stories or things I should look into, maybe I'll replace some of my plans with your guys' suggestions, because I always want to hear your guys' suggestions. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with a disclaimer saying that this is based on my own personal research and experiences. Not everyone may resonate with this, or some people may even associate this a little bit differently, especially depending on your culture and where you are in the world. Things are celebrated a little bit differently. This is just the most general information that I could find and based on my own experience. Okay, let's get into it. So starting off with the history, or what is Imbolc. It is traditionally celebrated on the 1st or 2nd of February in the Northern Hemisphere, or on July 31st or August 1st in the Southern Hemisphere. Now this is something where it's kind of up to you. Some pagans or witches in the Southern Hemisphere choose to stick to the Northern Hemisphere's schedule because there's like a bigger population and more people tend to celebrate those dates. But the whole kind of like reasoning for what we celebrate on the Sabbats is for following the seasons and for following the natural like occurrences in the earth around us. So if you want to follow it that way, then definitely if you're in the Southern Hemisphere like Australia or something, you celebrate them opposites. That's kind of up to you and your practice and just what is right for you and the area that you live in. Imbolc is the halfway point between Yule and the spring equinox. This is a time where we start to celebrate the light returning, little signs of life starting to come back up, little flowers maybe peeking through the snow starting to melt in some areas. Where I live, the snow doesn't start to melt until March, unfortunately, but lots of little signs of life coming back into the world around us. Birds are starting to come back out, some bugs are coming back out. It's also the start of lambing season, and it's kind of the time where there's lots of little baby animals running around. But remember, this is the halfway point between Yule and the spring equinox. So we're not at the spring equinox yet, which is where we start to celebrate the blossom and the blooming and the growth. This is kind of where we're just celebrating the light starting to return, signs of life coming back, and renewal and rebirth after that dark time of winter. It's also a good time to kind of reflect on winter, January, December, the darkness that we went through, and kind of the things that have happened in your life, any realizations that you had or any things you did during the winter. It's a good time of reflection, renewal, and growth. It is one of the 4 Celtic fire festivals. On the pagan wheel of the year, there's 4. They're also called the cross-quarter festivals, I believe, in some cultures. So the other 3 fire festivals are Beltane, Lunasa, and Samhain, and then Imbolc is the 4th one. This is also known as Brigid's Day, where we honor the goddess Brigid, or Bride, or Brigid. There's lots of different names for her. I know her as Brigid. That's how I've worked with her in the past. She is a Celtic goddess of fertility, poetry, blacksmithing, love. She is also known as the goddess that brings about spring. She has this beautiful, deep connection that helps connect humans and all of the creatures that walk the earth to the natural environment. You don't have to work with Bridget or, you know, even associate with her or acknowledge her to celebrate Imbolc, this is just a big time where a lot of people will celebrate her. Imbolc is also known as Bridget's Day, also known as Candlemas. When the Christians took over Imbolc, they started calling it Candlemas, and that's when all of the candles for the church would be blessed for the year. Like, they would just do it all in one lump on this day. It's also Groundhog Day, so, you know, the typical tradition of Groundhog Day. I don't know if that's a worldwide thing or just Canada or just like the North America. Let me know if you celebrate that around the world. But basically, Groundhog Day is where usually each city will have its own little groundhog or something. And when it comes out of its cave or out of its cage or its little burrow, if it sees its shadow or not, that determines how much time is left of winter. I can't remember the specific like time frames, but I think it's if he doesn't see his shadow, it's like 2 more weeks of winter or something like that. I can't remember. It could be the opposite. I didn't look it up because I haven't even thought of Groundhog Day for so long. But those are all the different like iterations of Imbolc. It's a time to call forth the energy of the sun, that fire, that heat, and that growth that the sun will bring. Who and what you choose to work with is completely up to you. This is a time really to kind of just go inwards and reflect and celebrate in a way that is going to bring you hope. So now I have a huge list of correspondences. So incense and oils, colors, foods, animals, herbs and flowers, crystals, that are kind of associated with this time. You don't have to use all of these. You don't have to use any. You could use all. Also, do your research before you kind of burn any herbs, ingest any, or put any on your skin or anything, because some are obviously not going to be edible. Some may be dangerous to pets. Some may be dangerous to other plants. So make sure you do your research. This is just the general list of correspondences that I've gathered throughout my experience. So as for incense and oils, you can use juniper, rosemary, jasmine, lavender, sandalwood, myrrh, bay, bergamot, mint, pine, and vanilla. Different colors that are associated with this time, which is kind of colors that you can associate into your altars or into your environment or even just your outfit for the day, are white, yellow, green, pink, light blue, gold, and silver. Foods associated on this day, these are foods that you can eat, foods you can give as offerings on your altar, or just foods you can make and share with family and friends, are custards, milk, cheese, and puddings, like any dairy products. Those are also a really good offering, specifically milk and cream for Bridget. It's kind of a traditional thing that people would leave a cup of milk for her on their altar at this time. Soup, bread, cakes, tea, and apples. Apples are a sign of fertility, so that is, you know, another thing that kind of is common with Bridget and Bridget's Day. Animals that are associated with this day are all burrowing animals like groundhogs, lambs, sheep, birds, and bears. There's probably more, but this is just all I could think of. Herbs and flowers associated with this day consist of snowdrops, primrose, crocus, daffodil, angelica, rosemary and bay, willow, violets, and chamomile. The crystals and stones associated with this day are amethyst, clear quartz, period, rose quartz, moonstone, garnet, and jasper. Now, for some rituals and activities that you can do that would be a good way to kind of honor this day, and you can always adjust these for your own personal life, whether you're still in the broom closet or whether you are open and out and you can do something grand. There's lots of different things you can do and make them as subtle or as grand as you'd like them to be. So this is a fire festival, so you could have a fire, you could light a bonfire with family, you could if you have a fireplace, light your fireplace in honor of this. You also could just light a candle. If you don't have a fire or a bonfire or you're not able to, you can just light a candle. If you can't light candles, again, like I said, this is celebrating the return of the light. You could just have a lamp or any kind of light. It's all about intention. So any kind of like source of light that you could light for that day in honor of Bridget or in honor of the light returning, in honor of Imbolc. This is also a way to kind of celebrate the sun's return, kind of like beckoning the sun forward. You can also, like I said, leave milk offerings for Bridget or leave any of your food baking offerings on your altar, or if you don't have an altar because you may be in the broom closet. You can always just bake food. Like people probably aren't really going to question you if you're baking food, and just do it with the intention of offering it to whoever, spirit or Bridget or just the energy of Imbolc. And you don't have to leave some out. You can just bake it with that intention or cook it with that intention, or you could leave like a tiny little bowl, maybe like hidden in your room somewhere, and then dump it out the next day. That's what I used to do. This is also a good time for decluttering and cleaning, releasing unwanted situations, relationships, and friendships, and doing any kind of spell work that is related to purification, cleansing, renewal, and rebirth, creative inspiration, awakening, fertility, and connecting to nature. And make room for this new growth that's going to come with the spring equinox. Okay, so that's all the information I have for you. This kind of felt like a lecture. I hope it didn't feel like a lecture, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you learned anything. Let me know if you choose to celebrate, what you plan on celebrating. I will probably be setting up my altar. I will definitely probably leave some offerings for Bridget. I don't think we'll be able to have a fire. I might ask my in-laws if we can, because they have a big fire pit. Maybe we'll have a little family fire. If not, I'll just light some candles. Yeah, definitely I'll maybe go for a walk if the snow's not too bad. I'm actually filming this at the end of December, so I don't know what it's gonna be like in February, but we actually have had hardly any snow so far, which is really sad. Because I live in an area where you're supposed to get a lot of snow, and we've had basically nothing, which is like really frustrating and really sad. But we'll see what February brings. But those are like the general plans of what I usually do. I also usually try to do some baking, cooking, and cleaning on all Sabbaths. I feel like those are always just good, safe things to do. And this year Imbolc is on a weekend. Oh, if you're celebrating it in February, it's on a Saturday and Sunday. So that hopefully, if you don't work, that gives you some more time to do some things. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.